Hey guys, Kim here, Papa's Fix It Shop. If you've been paying attention, I was doing everything I could to learn how to thread. Involved scrapping a lot of metal. Not a lot, but enough. And that's what happens with a lathe. You got to learn how to use it. There were some characteristics I was unfamiliar with. So, in any event, when I had to take all the gears off to switch it over to thread, I had to take off this gear. Let me zoom it in. This gear right here. Let me get up closer maybe. There you go. See this guy? It's got a distinct problem. So this gear is the one that actually is driven by the gearbox, and it comes out into the back, and it is the first gear that drives all of the feeds. Now, about a year ago, I think, I managed to crash it really good and bend an idler shaft in there, and everything went out of cock, and it ground the end of this gear off. So I ended up taking that stub shaft out and making a new one. So I made a new stub shaft of the gear that this drives, and it's all fixed, and it's been working. You know, it's got some of the teeth. But since it's all apart, I decided I was going to do something else that probably comes up with a lot of guys with these import lathes. And that is, they come with various change gears, and there may be gears that you don't get with them, or you may screw one up, and replacement parts are non-existent. So I'm going to try and make a gear to replace this. And I got a piece of mild steel bar stock. You know, it was like a 2-inch piece of bar stock. I turned it down to 39 millimeters, which is the OD, and then I've got a very precise 12 millimeter hole through the middle. And I'm going to make a gear. But first of all, I got to figure out how to identify gears. I mean, I know enough to know that there are different kinds of gears, so I need to figure out what this is. So it might be a good time for some help. I'm going to pop this camera off on my, it ain't a tripod, but I guess it is. So how do you know what kind of gear it is? How do you measure it? That's what I'm going to start researching, and if anybody knows, give me some advice. Okay. So I know what I'm going to have to do is get a keyway in the middle of this guy. So whenever I get my gear cut, I'm going to have to put a keyway. This is a 4 millimeter keyway. So first thing I do is I got to make one of these. It's a, what do you call it? It's for the broach to put a keyway in. I do not have a 4 millimeter broach, but I got one coming, so I figured I'd get started and basically make this part without the slot in it. If I have this ready, all I have to do is measure the broach and cut a slot. So I had this little piece of steel here. Can't remember what that was. But I'm gonna just turn it down. I need to have 12 millimeters to fit in there, so I don't know, maybe there's a better piece of steel. Hold on, let me go look around. Yeah. I got to looking at it and started thinking, man, I have to hog off a lot of metal to get that guy. See, it's actually part of an old garage door, like the spring, you know, that goes across, has a spring. Here's a piece of, I think it's 3/4. Yeah, that's pretty close. I'm kind of working around the camera here, so bear with me. All right. What we got going on here? That's a good one. Well, look at there, I got a chipped carbide. All right, stand by. I'll be back in a minute. All right, let's try this again. Got a new carbide in there. Let's see. Little shifty gears, huh? Time to see how big it is. Let's see. Here's the V. .46. Okay. See, I'm gonna clean it up a little bit, and then I'll finish. I know I got to take a millimeter off. So 11.99. Let's see. Sold, he said. See if the gear fits it. Looks like I got a burr on the end of that guy. Yeah. Perfect. All right. Okay. See. I don't think I got enough space. I'm gonna have to reset this thing. Hold on. Okay. Let's see what I got here. These other ones are like 7 millimeters. Lock the cross saddle. Okay. My experience is that there's not too much lubricant on a parting. About 2 or 3 millimeters. Getting close. That last tiny bit, I go real slow. See? Huh? Ready to go. Hot. Let's see. Put it in the best place to put it's in the gear, right? All I gotta do is cut a slot in it later. Okay, so I've been going through, I got my old machinist handbooks here, and I've been studying gears, and I had a subscriber already like look at the picture and the measurements and pretty much figure out that I have a module 1.5 gear that I got to make. So the next thing is got to get a cutter for it, right? Well, I was digging around, I found this guy. I'll show a picture close up. It's the number 4 cutter that it takes. This is the cutters in there. Number 4. Now this set, it's 1 through 8 of the cutters for these involute cutters, and it was like $80, 70 something, 78. So let's call it 10 bucks a piece. So $10 cutter. We'll see how good it works. But then I have to use some kind of arbor, and I had this old arbor. I got to run and grab something real quick. So, sorry about that. Anyway, it came with this guy. Let's see. So originally it had this little screw. It was a Phillips head, and it, first time I used it, I like to never got it out of there because it tends to tighten up. So I went ahead and made this guy to replace it with. So this fits in here real nice. So this particular guy, it's got springs around it, right? So I can put that in there. See, I think it's got to be, no, it's got to be this way, right? Yeah. If I don't put it that way, it'll unscrew it. I should look into finding a mandrel that I can go both directions, because being stuck with only one direction sometimes is annoying. But this little spring-loaded guy, so I got my cutter. Alrighty, next I gotta set up to cut the gear. So here's the set. It came in this little box. 8 involute gear cutters. It's number 1. See. Yep. 2. Number 2. 3, 4. This is the one I need. 5, 6, 7, and 8. So for the price of basically $80 and a 5-day wait, I got this cute little box with 8 involute gear cutters. And I looked at this stuff a few years ago, and it was like, you can pay a lot for one of these. So $10 a piece is pretty cool. I will see how they work. Now, the vendor said it was high-speed steel, but I don't see an HSS on here anywhere. It does say DP20. What's this one? DP20. They all have DP20. I don't know. It says 14 degree. I'm like shooting in the dark here. I'm still studying this mechanics or the machinist handbook. But man, that's tough reading, even for a guy like me. So if anybody's interested, I'm going to post the vendor information on this, because I think that's a pretty good thing to have in your toolkit right there, as long as they're pretty good. Wait till I find out if they work. Catch you on the other side, baby. finish pass is real slow. Hold a pin, let's see. Where we at? 195. We got to go to 210. Lock it down again. Go here, reset to first cut depth, which I've been hitting like 400. There we go. Ready for the next pass. Jeez, it's a long process all day. Okay, so I use the part off tool to mark where I'm going to part it, and now I'm going to turn the, see, I'll turn this edge on. Yeah. Cool, man. Okay, so turn this boss on. Got it marked there to part it. I got this all fixed. All I got to do now is part it off. Let's see. Hey all, Jim here. Okay, so my adventure in gear making came out pretty dang good, actually. It's not perfect, but it's actually close enough to work fine. So, you know, until I have to make another one. This is the first gear I've ever made. Right here. I never made a gear before. Well, I did. I made a gear for a table saw years ago. Excuse me, years ago. But I did it with files. Yeah, it was a small one. Anyway, let me zoom this in. All right. So, where am I at? Oh, there it is. Gotta make sure I know where the camera is. This is a little gear. This is the one I copied. If you look real close, this one's a millimeter bigger. When I parted it, I screwed up. Everything else was so close. So, uh, 39. This one is 39. Well, it's a bit under 39. A couple of bits. So overall, I made it small. So this guy, you see all of that. This gear here is the one that works, that the other one drives. Yeah, right about there. So this is the driven gear. This little guy I made a couple years ago when I was studying how to do this. I didn't want to wait till the last minute. So I put the original one in there. Maybe I can get a little better. Right here. Notice it's a hair low. It's amazing that I managed to get this thing down so close. And all I did was miss the outer diameter by about 4 or 5 tenths of a millimeter, and then when I parted it, I cut this off, it dished out and everything. But it's gonna work. I'm actually gonna put it in and see how it works. I have a spare now. The other thing is this guy, this little cutter. Let me get it up closer. See this guy? It is in fantastic condition after cutting 24 grooves through a piece of bar stock right here. Right there. That's the piece that's left. And when I realized I made it small, I was like, oh man. It was incredibly difficult to get this whole thing in there because my little arbor was crappy. But anyway, it's a success. I'm buzzed. I'm gonna clean up. Thanks a lot for watching. Appreciate it. Have a great one.